Welcome back. A family in Mpumalanga has been reunited with their daughter who was abducted 20 years ago. She was kidnapped as a baby after her mother was discharged from hospital. A 50-year-old suspect has appeared in court and was released on bail. Silindelo Masikane has this exclusive report for us. She joins us now live. Sli, what an incredible story, especially how this person was actually discovered on social media.
I mean, it's something that movies are made out of, Shahan. It's not every day where you hear that somebody who was abducted 2 decades ago would actually be found by one of their own family members. And what we know about this case, Shahan, is that on the 23rd of March 2001, a young woman gave birth to a baby girl in Ermelo, and she was discharged on the same day. She left the hospital with her sister, and on their way home, she started feeling some discomfort, some pain, some dizziness. Her sister had then gone to the shop, but spoke to an unknown woman in the process. And when this young woman was then left alone with the baby, this unknown woman then offered to hold the baby for her while she tried to get comfortable, and then said to her that, look, I'm going to go look for your sister in the shop while still carrying that baby. That's when the baby disappeared, Shahan, and the sister came back from the shop to this young woman to say, look, where's the baby? And this young woman says, I thought you knew this lady you were speaking to earlier. She said she's gone to go look for you. But the sister said, look, I don't know this woman. They searched for the woman, but she had, of course, disappeared with the baby. 2 decades later, Shahan, this young woman's second-born son is scrolling through Facebook, and he comes across a profile of a young woman who looks very similar to his youngest brother. He shows his grandmother this profile, and the grandmother then says, no, but this woman actually looks like your mother. And I think that's when they decided that, look, we need to look at this case a little bit more deeper. We need to actually find out where this young woman stays, only to find that she lives about 60 kilometers away from where they are. And subsequent to that, the police were then brought in, DNA tests were done, and this woman was then confirmed. This young woman was then confirmed to be that young baby that was abducted 20 years ago. Subsequent to that, this young woman is now in a place of safety. The suspect has been arrested and released on bail. But the dilemma now, Shahan, comes to this young woman in terms of what is she going to do now? She seemingly wants to remain with the family that has raised her, but of course her biological family wants that opportunity to get to know her. So some counseling has been afforded to both these families, and it's going to be quite interesting to see exactly how this case unfolds. Let's just take a look at this report that I filed after speaking to the biological family.
It can be described as a mother's worst nightmare. Behind me is the home of a woman who gave birth to a baby girl 20 years ago. Just hours after being discharged from the hospital, her baby was kidnapped. It was the 23rd of March 2001. On the way home, the biological mother started experiencing some pain and dizziness. Her sister was in the store when a woman approached to offer to hold her child.
Wahamba umama azange abuye. After a few minutes kwachamuka useswami wangibuza ke wathi umntwana ngathi mina umntwana uthethwe umama lo obukhuluma naye ene mina ngangithi ngitshela ukuthi uyamazi na athi useswami hayi angimazi mina lo mama. Yilapho ke la saphakama khona sathi siyazama ukufuna la ashone ngakhona.
A case of abduction was then opened with the police. 2 decades later, the unthinkable happened. The biological mother's son came across a profile of a young woman who looked like his younger brother.
Samthola indena ku Facebook sazama ukumkhulumisa ukuthi uhlalaphi sathola ukuthi uhlala eCaroline. Njengoba sisimtholile ngijabulile kakhulu ukuthi sesizoba nosisi omdala nathi isizoshare naye isikhathi senza ama-memories naye.
A 50-year-old female suspect has since been arrested and released on 1,000 rand bail.
Yeah, the child is in a place of safety. She's receiving counseling. Like I've indicated, that is a very traumatic kind of a situation. She needs to adjust to the environment now to say that I will no longer be in this other's family. I will be in the other side of the relative. It will have to take some time to adjust, and actually both families they will take some time to adjust.
The biological mother says the past 20 years have been torture.
Siqhubeke nempilo. Anginankinga, angimncabeli ukuthi angabuyela eCaroline. Kukuyi. Ya, kukuyi. Uzayikhethela yena. Ukuthi ufunani, ufuna kuyaphi. Ngoba vele angeke ngize ngimkhethele. Engeke futhi ngimthathe ngenkani angafuni.
While this family is grateful to have found their daughter again and to have the wheels of justice start turning, they say it will never make up for the time they've lost with her. Silindelo Masikane, Brayton in Mpumalanga.
It's such an incredible story because you listen to the mother, the biological mother, saying, my wish is for her to come home, but if she doesn't want to and she wants to stay with the family where she grew up, then she can.
I mean, it's very similar to the Zephany nurse case when she was born in Grooterschuur in the 90s. She was abducted from the hospital, and then 17 years later, her younger sister, unbeknown to her, and her were at the same school, and all the girls' friends were saying, you look so similar.
Yeah.
And that's how they found out. And that was also a very complicated emotional case. That story probably has a lot of lessons for this particular case. But remarkable, incredible.
Yeah. Hopefully one day we'll get to speak to her once everything's sorted and the family is reunited with her.